Hi, Collective. It's Intuitive Pisces Moon. And I just want to start this reading today because I did receive a download of our soul's evolution. So it's very interesting that that's the word combination that came out. So I decided one of the decks I'm going to use today is the Soul's Journey lesson cards. And what I was informed of was if you are aligned with this reading, and any of my past readings for that matter, because a lot of them have been tagging kind of a soulmate reunion, okay? I get the Two of Cups in almost all of my readings, whether it's by myself or, on this channel. That card seems to come out a lot. It's almost like it's magnetized to us at this point in time. So if you are aligning with this reading, then just know that it is because of your soul's evolution and the inner work that you've been doing, and that you are aligned to a soulmate reunion timeline. All right. So again, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your time and your energy exchange. I'm so appreciative to have you all here. And let's jump in and see where this takes us. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Starseed Oracle. That is this deck right here. And let's just get a baseline to see what it is that we need to know on our soul's evolution and soul's journey at this time. All right, Spirit, what do we have for the collective on our soul's journey and soul's evolution at this time? Okay, that one. Jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure, and say yes to change. Look at that beautiful image. It looks like an eyeball, but it's the universe. I love that. That's beautiful. All right, what else do we have, please, Spirit? Okay, that one. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. So you want to talk about split energy. It's already here. One says jump in, say yes, and one says wait, it's not time yet. So we'll get into that and see what that means. But that's another energy that I have definitely been picking up on. Just a very split energy. And again, this may be us being very indecisive about whether to wait or to jump in on something. This may be our kind of ego wanting to jump in and think we're not doing enough, but the universe is saying, you know what, you're doing more than enough. You're fine. We're still figuring stuff out, so just be patient. We also have star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. And let's get one more. Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. All right, love it. And then bottom of the deck is inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. I love it. So that's basically kind of what we're working towards. So whatever it is that you're kind of in the midst of, if you are in some sort of turmoil or, doing the inner shadow work, whatever it is that you're kind of going through, tower moments, a lot of things may be breaking down around you, changes, relationships falling apart. That could be, again, familial relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, whatever the case. Could even be job, coworker, boss type situations. Just know that you will survive this, and that we are working towards new solutions and beginnings. And that, again, is kind of what the purpose of all of this is. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is jump in. So that is Andromedan energy, adventure, and say yes to change. Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. Very adaptable, they have a strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow. To find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides, this card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right in. This reminds me of like jumping into the pool. Cannonball. Life bends for the courageous, and courageous is what you're being called to be. You're already facing the right direction. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on Earth rarely is. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory. And once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing the waves of life, to seek more adventures, to embrace your own adaptability and find a way to be the calm in the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive. You came to Earth to truly live. Now take a good run up and leap. Okay. So this is kind of, again, we can talk about the split energy, but this is basically, being shown that living in our kind of safe space, our calm sense of security, that sort of thing, it does not equate to growth. So we just have to be careful with how long we sit in an energy thinking that, like, what's the next thing? If you sit kind of in the safety of your confines, then growth is not occurring. You are being called to go out and say yes to things. So again, if you have a friend that always asks you to go to Great America, let's just say, and you're like, no, roller coasters terrify me, I can't do that. You're being called to say yes, even if it is scary. Now, I'm not suggesting that if you have like epilepsy or anything like that to go jump on a roller coaster. Whatever the situation is, though, that you typically might say no to for fear of the unknown. Again, fear of what may come out of it, whatever the situation, you're being called to say yes more to kind of things like that. I'll give you an example. I had a friend of mine years and years and years ago who wanted to go salsa dancing, and that terrified me. And I was like, I really don't want to go salsa dance. I have terrible rhythm. I can't dance. I already knew what the outcome was going to be. But I went. And it was fine. It wasn't, terrible or anything like that. But, we always have this fear of the unknown. And we cut ourselves off from doing things that could be adventurous and fun and end up being just fine. But again, our fear kind of takes over and says, yeah, you don't really want to do that because, what could happen? Oh, well, you could either have a terrible experience and no, maybe I don't ever want to do that again, which is fine. At least you tried it once. Or you can say, you know what, that really was fun. I kind of found a new thing that I enjoyed doing and I want to pursue it more. So you're just being called to kind of try things that are new to you. And regardless of what you think the outcome may be, just try it once. You never know what the outcome's going to be until you actually jump in and try it. Now, this could also be a venture of yours that you're pursuing. So let's just say you're trying to open a new business or, move to a different area, whatever the case is, get a new job, whatever. You're also being called to be courageous in those situations. So again, yes, we always have a fear of failure. These things may not work out, but we have to try because that's where the lessons lie. All right, let's get over to the tarot. All right, look at this. I split the deck and we have the Hierophant and the World. So you're being called to either be a teacher or listen to a teacher, so a spiritual teacher, or do things traditionally. But also, I'm gathering that with this World card that we've successfully completed a cycle of avoidance. Okay, the kind of avoidance due to fear. So beautiful energy to start with. Let's see what else we have here for the jump-in card. All right, Spirit, what do we want to tell the collective? Okay, those three. Bottom of the deck is Temperance. Wow. All right. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Six of Swords. I love it. So these both signify new beginnings. And this is about getting away from stuff that doesn't serve you. So if you have to leave something behind, you're being called to do that at this time. All right. You know what is for your highest good, and you're being called to go towards that, but also while simultaneously getting away from the things that don't serve you. Okay. So with the aces, you know, this is brand new beginnings. We have truth and clarity, and we also have, you know, even material abundance. So you're being gifted from spirit, from the divine, these items. Okay? So this is beautiful because I always kind of associate the truth and clarity with kind of a spark of intuition. So maybe before you were so scared of doing these things because you couldn't kind of see the outcome of how things would work out. So you just altogether shut down and said, nope, that's not for me. Like trying a new vegetable. I don't know why that came to me. Maybe some of you have not tried certain foods because other people have said they didn't like that particular food. Asparagus is coming to my mind. I don't know why. But you're being called now to try these things, because just because somebody else doesn't like the thing doesn't mean you won't like the thing. Okay, so whatever the thing is. So I love this energy. Beautiful place to start. And then again with temperance, this is us finding the middle road. So some of us may have been afraid to jump in because maybe they felt that that was like too extreme. Okay, going back to the roller coaster analogy. You know, that is a bit extreme. That's very, very, trying to think, adrenaline rushing. And that may, you know, not be something that our bodies can handle. I will say that when I went as a kid and a teenager and even a younger adult, I could handle it a lot better. I did go to Great America last summer, and I hadn't been in so many years. I had no idea what was going to happen. But it worked out just fine. I actually enjoyed it. There's still rides I'll never go on, like the giant drop. I hate the feeling of just like falling straight down. But the other roller coasters, even some of the ones that, you know, are considered very extreme, I adapted. I was able to do it even though I'm older now and my body, you know, I felt maybe couldn't handle that situation anymore. But you're being called to go back and try things. Okay, so that's all it is. And do it from a place of balance. So mental clarity, you know, we have the Ace of Swords. And then also with gifts from the universe. Maybe even something that you tried in the past, you didn't like, or it didn't work out, whatever the situation was, you're being called to maybe even revisit some of these things. So again, you went to Great America as a kid, you hated it. Maybe as an adult, you'll love it. You never know. Asparagus, maybe as a kid you hated it. As an adult, you're being called to try it again just because maybe it might be good this time. The other thing is, you know, with asparagus, it might be in how it's prepared. So let's consider that for a second too, because how it's prepared makes all the difference in the world. If you just eat it raw and crunch on it, yeah, it's going to be gross. You're supposed to cook it. You're supposed to add seasonings to it, you know, whatever the situation, wrap some bacon around it. Oh, it's delicious with bacon wrapped around it. I just split the deck and saw the Lovers card here. So again, I told you in the beginning that we are on a soulmate reunion timeline. If you have aligned with this reading, here it is. This could also equate to Sagittarius and Gemini. So those are opposite signs. We're being called to work together. And there's angels in both of these. Okay, so you're also not only working together with a person on this timeline, but the angels and ancestors and guides, you know, ascended masters, all those are also with us on this timeline very heavily, very strongly. They're guiding us, they're protecting us, they're loving us, and they're teaching us to do that for ourselves as well. Okay, let's get over to the Soul's Journey cards and see what we have to go with this pile. So what are the soul lessons that we are learning with this jumping in situation. What's the major lesson of this pile? Okay, that one. Surrender. Yes. I can release my need to control. All right. So that's a lot of what our fears derive from, okay? A lot of us need to control a situation or feel that we need to control a situation. And it may cause us anxiety. It may cause us depression. But here's the thing. If we just let go and surrender and go with the flow, this all comes naturally, and that naturally falls away. The anxiety, the stress, the worry, the fear. Okay? So you are being called to surrender at this time. And then the bottom of the deck is patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. There it is too. We cannot control all the outcomes of everything. We just can't. All right. Let's move over to the next pile. We have wait. So I want to see why this is sort of a kind of split energy and why they're saying jump in, but wait. All right. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. In our fast, loud, reactive, comparative world where an instant response is so often expected and at times even a currency, it can feel almost impossible to take a breath, let alone give ourselves the space to rest, wait, and reset. We're so often in overdrive, expecting instantaneous results over and over again. And when guidance doesn't come at these extreme speeds, it can feel as though something's gone wrong. But often, not receiving guidance is guidance in itself. When you ask for guidance and don't receive it, it can often mean wait. It's not time yet. The details are being woven. Our challenge is to keep trusting when on the surface it appears that nothing is happening. To remember that no matter how long or bitter the winter, spring does always come. To remember that you don't need to solve all the world's problems in a single day, and that perhaps you'll be better solved with some perspective and a good night's sleep. This card is your permission to slip, to slow down, switch off, and rest. You're being reminded to have patience and to try the mystery of life. To trust that things are being woven on your behalf. It may not be happening on the timeline that you'd like, but if you gather up the patience, it will be orchestrated better than you can imagine. All right. Here's why I love this. Because we literally, at the bottom, had the Temperance card, which stands for patience. And at the bottom of this one, got the Patience card. Okay? So while the universe is making a way for us, we are being called to do adventurous things that maybe in the past we've been afraid to do. Okay, so let's shuffle and get more clarity with the tarot on this. All right, Spirit, what do we have for this Wait card? We have the Knight of Swords, which stands for rushing forward, being ambitious. Now, this can also kind of be impatient. So this can, because we're being called to wait, again, some of us may be very impatient, feeling like we need to be doing something, but the universe is calling you to chill. Okay? Chill out is what I'm hearing. All right. And we also got these two. So the Empress and the Moon. All right. Yep. So I'm gathering that there's very much a lot of kind of hidden things that we're working on internally, and the universe for that matter, okay? This could lead to uncertainty and confusion. However, the Empress energy is here to kind of assure you. Think of just very beautiful motherly energy kind of wrapping you in her warm embrace and nurturing you, okay? To me, I'm relating this to the universe. While you're sitting here in your uncertain energy, being impatient, you're being called to tap into your Empress energy at this time and chill. Chill is very much the word I'm hearing. Chill out, dude. Chill out, man. All right? So we are in the midst of kind of figuring ourselves out And that does very strongly come with the moon energy. Okay, moon energy is also feminine energy. So I'm also gathering too with the moon card that there are going to be times where we don't feel whole and complete, but just as the phases of the moon, we are always whole. Our light may not always shine 100%. Like the full moon, you see the full moon, there it is in all its glory. But, in new beginnings, it's dark, and that can be scary. But we're being called in those cases where we're uncertain and impatient to tap into our motherly, nurturing energy. Okay? Give yourself a big, giant hug if you need to. Say, we're going to get through this. It's going to work out just fine. All right, let's get over to the soul lessons for this pile. What do we have to go with this? That patience. Okay, Spirit. I accept that everything happens in divine order. There it is. So, how many of you need to learn the value of patience? This is what you're being called to work on right now. Not everything is going to come to you at the snap of a finger. Okay? I want it all. I want it now. You're not going to get it all, and you're not going to get it now. Maybe you'll get it all later. What you're being called to do is to go on your adventures. Do things that you've never done before. Try new things. Surrender to the process. And go try new things. Even things that may terrify you. Have patience that the universe is working things out for you. And that's all. All right, let's get over to star bathing. So this is light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. If you pull this card, you may be being called to begin working with the stars and the crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to the particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called star bathing. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It also can mean that your light body, which is your energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. And then you do have a starseed activation for this. I open myself up to receiving the wisdom of the crystalline grid beneath me. May the stars and the Earth inform and heal me, and as they do, may it heal the Earth too. Okay, lovely. So with that, I want to talk about this crystal for a second. Okay, so they say that these have little kind of grooves on them, and they contain information. So this is Lemurian quartz, and I don't know, you probably can't, right there, you can see there's kind of like lines on it. All right, so with Lemurian quartz, they say that these lines contain information, and that this was locked away, back in the Atlantis days when, that kind of civilization fell. They left all the kind of codes to the universe in these crystals, and, they were left for us to find them and activate them. So that's one of the things that we're being called to do right now is, activate our inner light. Also, to the universe is activating that for us. So it's not something we physically need to do aside from just doing our inner work. All right, let's get over to the tarot on this pile. What do we have to go with this star bathing? Five of Cups. Okay, interesting. Eight of Cups. A lot of emotional attachment here. And the Two of Swords. Okay. So, and then the bottom of the deck is the Six of Cups. Let's interpret this. This is interesting energy. So, Five of Cups is about kind of releasing something, but you, like, all right, so with the Five of Cups, sorry, I'm like, things are coming into my head right now, and I'm trying to interpret this while also simultaneously paying attention to that. So with the loss and the grief of the Five of Cups, you know what? Loss has also to do with the Eight of Cups. But the choice here is that with the Eight of Cups, you are choosing to walk away. Similar to the Six of Swords. These are very similar situations, okay? Both are walking away from something or getting away from something. You know, this person's on a boat and it's in the water. However, with the Five of Cups, it could be just loss. It doesn't mean you've walked away, but typically something kind of dropped out of your life. And you may be mourning that. You may be grieving that. What this card also represents is that while Three Cups are knocked over, and that's what you're kind of sad about and grieving, but there are still two that are left upright. So again, I always associate this with the Two of Cups that are left, okay? So you are leaving things behind, but you still have two cups upright. And again, I always associate the Two of Cups with that soulmate energy, all right? Now, Six of Cups very much relates to kind of memories, nostalgia, reconnecting with someone from your past, but it's emotional, okay? Could be someone from your childhood coming back around. Now, with the Two of Swords, very, again, interesting energy. This feels like the stick and the spokes of the wheel of this particular gathering here. This may have been a difficult choice to walk away from something, to let go of something, because you were searching for something different. Now, with the Six of Cups being at the bottom, this either means that you are leaving something behind that you've had since childhood, a friend, you know, or it can mean moving towards this. It is in the upright position, which typically means that, you know, these cups are full. There's 6 full cups. And now we're offering it to somebody. So the difficult choice to walk away and to let things kind of fall away is the other thing I'm hearing, is activating us in the universe. Okay? So let's get some of the soul journey for this. All right, what do we have to go with this pile? Worry. Yep. These are very much reminiscent of this. So I am learning that worry doesn't change the outcome. So by releasing the worry, that is what's activating our light being aspect and connecting us to the universe. Okay. So by releasing the worry, I understand that yes, things are falling away. Yes, I'm walking away from things, you know, swimming away from things, whatever the situation. It's leading us to abundance. And with the understanding that I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. You're even being gifted that by spirit here. So worry is something that is tough because, again, maybe we're just overly worried about outcomes of things, and that could come with the control. Once we release and surrender the control, worry also falls away. We are taught patience in this, and then in comes abundance. Okay, let's get over to the last card there, which is Child of the Cosmos. And I opened right up to it. I love it. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. There's a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last breath. It's part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it. Because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will, it's easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from the pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate or feeling that we need to go it alone. We can feel isolated and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves, to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of your cells. To remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe. That you have access to all of the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities there ever were, are, or will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. All right. I love that because one of the things I said about this Empress card here is this feels like kind of the motherly energy of the universe. Okay? So you are a child of the cosmos, and the universe wants to give you a big, giant, nurturing hug. That's what I'm gathering from this, okay? So you're not alone, even though you're walking away from a lot of stuff or even just losing things. And, the loss is not a loss to you because it is for your greater good. I want you to start thinking of these things that are dropping out of your life as their loss. You are the one that is missing now out of their life. Okay? You had bigger and better things to move on to, so it is them who is losing you because you're walking away. You have 2 cards here that say, yep, I'm done. I don't need this. I don't need this stress and turmoil. I've sampled every 8 of these cups, and there was nothing in any of them for me. So I've now got to search for my own situation. All right, let's get some tarot on this Child of the Cosmos. What do we have to go along with this? Oh, that one. All right. So this is the Lovers, and it did come out in the reverse. So I'm gathering with that card that may be us feeling like we don't have a choice. Okay? Us feeling like we are in disharmony either with ourselves, with the universe, with a partner. Okay, this could be conflict. Let's see what else we get with this. Okay. The 3 of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups. That's the 3rd ace, and that is love renewal. Okay, now I'm kind of understanding why this is in reverse. Let's look at these 2. The 5 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Bottom of the deck is Judgment. Now this makes sense. Okay. So I'm gathering that in the past, this was kind of something that happened with us. And again, talking about kind of the 5 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, the 6 of Swords. These are all like something didn't work out. So whatever the situation is for you, something didn't work out. Either things fell away or you walked away. And this could have been disharmony in a relationship. And again, the relationship does not have to be romantic. It can be. It could be platonic. It could be friendships. Any type of relationship out there. But with this Ace of Cups here, you're being gifted with a renewal in love. You've completed this cycle. Okay, you've carried the burden, the stress, the obligation, the struggles for too long. You're being called now to put these down. And there may be even have been, arguments and conflict in the past. But you're now being called to work together with others, with the universe, and collaborate. Okay? Now, when I think it was this card that talked about kind of being called to go to certain places, and that might be something that occurs when you travel. You find kind of your soul team, your soul tribe, and you experience a brand new experience that wasn't there before. Okay? And it's showing you that love does not have to be difficult. We don't have to constantly have stress and hostility and conflict and arguments. We can put these burdens down and come from a place of love and collaborate. So, like, these are two opposite cards almost. You have one that's just total conflict. Then we have one that's just very much working together. Okay. So I'm seeing too that this is coming from a place of love. So, we can love our platonic friends. We can love our coworkers, whatever the situation. Some coworkers, I'll tell you this, I have a lot of my friends are from jobs I've had in the past and just met them and kept them all the way through, So you can love a coworker. I have said I love you to many coworkers that are females, typically however that relates to you. I don't want to get too deep into that. But I'm gathering that there are strong friendships / relationships being formed right now at this time. And it's because we decided to walk away from other situations that didn't serve us, to put down the burdens, and to not choose this hostility and conflict and the disharmony. Okay? Love is not hard. It shouldn't be. And I think a lot of us are figuring that out right now. Okay? Love is easy flowing. And I'm not saying that every relationship should always be 100% perfect and there's never any conflict and there's never any stress and there's never arguments. What I'm saying is that it doesn't have to be that way all the time. I'm gathering that with some of us, we have been through some very tough, difficult relationships and thought that maybe just this is the way it has to be. This is the way it's always been. We just have to put up with it because deep down inside, you feel that you have your own flaws and that person's putting up with you and your flaws. So therefore, I've got to put up with this person's BS. I want you to get out of that mentality. Think of yourself as the prize. You need to find a person. Actually, the person is being magnetized to you, so you don't need to find them. They're going to find you. But this is going to be a place in this relationship that comes from ever-flowing love. And it's going to be way different than any relationship you have ever had in the past. Because you're both going to be understanding that love is what stems everything else around you, and that we can kind of settle our differences from a place of love, from a place of peace, from a place of surrender. All right, let's get some soul's journey on this one. What do we have to go with this? Relationships. Look at that. Relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Yep. I literally just got done saying things in the past were let go for a reason. Okay? Again, with you sampling the cups. I tried them all. They weren't for me. They were tough, difficult lessons that I don't care to relearn over and over again. And that's again what the 10 of Wands comes from. I'm putting these burdens down. I'm ready to start over, to start fresh, and to try things again from a different perspective. I don't want to have battle and conflict and stress and worry. I want love. I want overflowing abundance, truth, clarity, and to feel that I am reciprocated. To feel that we're working together as a team. That's what relationships are based on. If you both water the relationship, then you both will grow together. But if only one of you is doing that, it's not going to grow as much. You're going to feel like you're constantly pouring, while the other person is constantly taking. So I just want you to be careful of that dynamic, okay? Bottom of the deck is pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. All right, pride has two sides, so let's talk about that. We can be proud of things we do, okay? I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I am proud. Pride can also get in the way of things. So again, there is a balance to everything, right? We can be impatient or we can be patient. We can surrender or feel that we have to control everything. So I just want you to go through these lessons as you're learning them. Take with you the information that you learned from past relationships, however many there were, and say, I didn't enjoy this aspect of this relationship. What did it teach me? And that's actually a great thing to journal about too. So if you are doing your inner shadow work, you can go back and you can look at every relationship you've ever had and say, what did I like? What did I not like? What could I have done differently? Again, don't focus on what the other person did. Focus on what you did and what you could do different next time. Because this is how you're going to get a balanced relationship. Okay? If there was a lot of struggle, stress, worry, anxiety, battle, conflict, those would probably likely be things you don't wish to repeat. And you can say, maybe I reacted in this way and I could have reacted in this way. Maybe I allowed this to continue for far too long and it equated to just unharmonious relationships. But now I have a renewal in love, not only for myself, but for others. And I want to collaborate and work together with those people in our relationships. So again, whatever your relationships are, you're putting those lessons from the past into these new ones. All right. So I want to close this reading out by using this deck, the Intuition Oracle. And we will see what advice we can get to close this reading out. Spirit, what advice do we have for this reading for the collective, please? All right, this one. Yeah, that looks like two people fighting. The fighters. Oh, look at that. I fight my resistance to accepting the dualities of life. Wow. All right, let's read about the fighters. I'm surprised that one came out, but let's see what it says. What I do like about this is that they kind of get into different aspects of the card. So this is 27. Let's see what it says. Okay. Two men. Let's hold this up here. Hopefully you can see it better there. Two men who are similar in appearance, but they may be twin brothers, are locked together in a wrestling match. This does not appear to be for sport, but seems to be a serious attempt by both men to force the other into a state of submission. It is well known that fights between brothers can be particularly nasty. However, we seem to have come upon this scene of turmoil at a time when neither brother has the upper hand. They are each applying strength in equal measure to their cause, and consequently, there is no movement, to the point where they appear frozen. Only one can be the victor, as symbolized by the one great bird that flies around the two combatants at close range. But which one will it be? The smaller birds in the border are anxious about the result because they have taken sides in this matter, as revealed by those in the left border being lit and those by the right border being masked in shadow. The outcome of this contest, too, is masked in shadow at this time. In the top border are two stylized eyes, symbolic of the fact that although the eye might see, two eyes that see will produce a more in-depth picture of a situation, for they each have their unique vantage point from which to observe what is going on. The third dimension of depth is simulated in the scene by the placement of the large flower at the lower edge. the wrestlers above it, the bird above them, and the very lively background that seems to recede into the distance from left to right. The feeling of depth can be attained by letting our eye wander over the scene depicted and observing the several points of view of the different objects. In the bottom border, two fists seem ready to pound a soft heart between them. This is a symbol that the human heart can take only so much anger and negativity before the actual physical damage can occur. However, even more than the strain of fighting, the strain caused by the anxiety of not knowing how the situation will progress can be quite detrimental to our health. Duality is a prime organizing principle of our reality. We cannot know what light is unless we know darkness. We cannot know the meaning of sweet without knowing sour. It follows what we cannot know, who or what we like, without experiencing that which we do not like. There is no way to avoid occasionally feeling annoyed, hurt, or depressed. To repress or deny the existence of an emotion is to give it more strength. Rather than seeking to eliminate the things that make us sad, choose to face them squarely as they come and to experience both joy and sorrow at the same time. This kind of acceptance is the contentment and the strong center of our being that all spiritual teachings advise us to seek. Remember that nothing is ever as good as you think it is going to be, and nothing is ever as bad as you think it's going to be. Okay, now I understand why this card came out. So, again, what I was talking about here with relationships and kind of things we're learning from our past situations. If we didn't learn these lessons, we are kind of doomed to repeat them over and over and over again. And also what it is teaching us with this card is that denial of emotions is what's keeping us repeating patterns. So if in a relationship you feel sad by something, but you don't ever express it, you're repressing it, then you're going to get into a next relationship, feel the sadness, repress it. You're not addressing what's actually needing to be addressed. So this is kind of a warning card to tell you that, yes, these things are going to happen in relationships, but you have to face them. You have to acknowledge them. You have to learn from them. Surrender and give up control. Okay? We can't control other people and what they do. We just can't. We may try till we're blue in the face. The only reaction and person that we can control is ourselves. Okay? So that's the takeaway from this. Know that you had to go through this to learn what you didn't want in a relationship. Even your relationship with yourself. How many times among your inner work did you uncover your own BS and say, oh God, now I really see something that I've been doing all these years and I didn't even know that it was so bad for me or so bad for my relationships, because you kind of ignored it. And again, that's not your fault. Maybe you were taught to ignore these feelings, but now you're being called to go into them, assess them, evaluate, and take the lessons and go forward with them. Now you understand what it is that you can do differently and what it is that you choose to accept or not accept in a relationship. Okay? Maybe you had a lack of boundaries in the past and you would go into relationships and just accept everything. So the message here is duality. Every person has duality. Every situation has duality. I'm hearing like there's always two sides to a story. Okay? You can have your own side. You can say, this is what I think happened in this relationship. The other person may have a totally different story. But the thing is you don't have to let what their version of the story is affect you in any way. Because they can only see things from their level of perception and their level of their lessons learned. You now know what you're willing to accept. You now have control over your reactions and situations. And you're taking your lessons and moving it on to other relationships. Okay? So that is your advice. Thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate all of your time and energy exchange. I want to wish you all a lifetime of happiness, health, wealth, abundance, and as always, love. Make sure you're filling your own cup up before you fill somebody else's. Go within so you never go without. And keep in mind, I'm a beacon of light here to help guide you through the darkness. Thank you so much again for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.